wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, last night, OKC beat the Pacers 123-107. The series is tied 1-1. The next game, I believe, is on Tuesday.
And as I keep telling y'all, Tyrese Halliburton got to do more. If y'all going to be having these conversations about him being the face of the league and all this other stuff, you got to do more. You can't have 5 points after 3 quarters, bro.
Right.
No.
Well, good morning, Morgan.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Well, I want to believe that it's a happy Monday, but there is a lot going on. First, on front page, y'all. National Guard troops are on the ground in Los Angeles, California, following anti-ICE protests. Now, President Trump deployed 2,000 members of the California National Guard in a move sharply criticized as inflammatory and unnecessary by both California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass. Now, over the weekend, Trump said he's ready to enforce law and order as anti-ICE protests continue. The president spoke briefly on his way to Camp David on Sunday as he was boarding Air Force One. We saw him trip, right? But saying that he will hold protesters accountable. Let's take a listen to that audio if you can. I mean, again, it's at the airport.
If we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order. You have violent people, and we're not going to let them get away with it.
So California Governor Gavin Newsom criticized the move again, calling it purposefully inflammatory. LA Mayor Karen Bass says the situation in Los Angeles is about an agenda. Now, she made those comments also on Sunday on the third day of the protest. Let's take a listen to her comments.
But we need to be real about this. This is about another agenda. It's not about public safety. There's clearly no plan, and there is clearly no policy. When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic.
I'll tell you one thing. Trump really wasted no time doing the worst of everything folks thought he would. Like, you can't put the military on protesters. Did I miss something? Were they not being peaceful? Because I didn't hear about any ruckus or violence until the National Guard showed up.
I did see one video. I guess it was a protester throwing rocks or bricks at cars as I guess they were agents when they were driving by. Did you see that video, Morgan?
Yeah, and I also
But did that call for the National Guard?
You know, it got very volatile over there. But to your point, I mean, but this isn't the first time he's done this. He did this, back in 2020 following the death of George Floyd and the protests that happened here in Washington, D.C. So he's no stranger to calling his own military, the National Guard in for protesters, as you said, peaceful protesters at that. So. But Kristi Noem, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem basically said that the National Guard was brought in for public safety. So that's what they essentially said it was for. But I'm not going to get too much into that. We can continue the conversation at 7 a.m. You guys, there's so much more to talk about regarding this.
It is amazing to me that all of that is happening in L.A. right now, and folks are just out there for the BET Awards. Like, life is normal. Like things are just normal. Like, the backdrop of L.A. isn't the National Guard being, sicked on protesters.
No, for real.
All right. Well, that is front page news. We'll see you next hour, Morgan.
Indeed.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get back in some front page news. Now, yesterday was game 2 of the NBA Finals. OKC beat the Pacers 123-107.
Does Indiana win another game?
I don't think so.
When OKC is locked in, it's like night and day. They're not even on the same planet as the Pacers, but it's really up to the OKC and their focus.
Yeah, I don't think so, but we'll see what happens. What up, Morgan?
Hey, y'all. Hey, so the conversation on ICE raids and immigration continues. Former Vice President Kamala Harris says she is appalled by what is taking place in Los Angeles, California, saying the Trump administration's actions are about stoking fear and not about public safety. In case you missed it, there has been ICE protests in Los Angeles that have been erupting over the weekend. And Harris said in a social media statement that deploying the National Guard was a dangerous escalation meant to provoke chaos. She went on to add that along with recent ICE raids in Southern California and nationwide, the move is part of the Trump administration's cruel, calculated agenda to spread panic and division. But as of right now, so downtown Los Angeles Angeles has been declared an unlawful assembly, with police ordering anti-ICE protesters to leave the area immediately as of late yesterday evening. So, of course, I will keep you updated on that. Switching gears, and still on the topic of immigration, there's even been reports of TikTok star Charlamagne. You know, the guy who's most known for not saying a word in his video, and he tends to do hand gestures like that. No. Well, he's an Italian national by way of Senegal, and he's actually been deported after overstaying his visa. So,
damn.
Yeah, but you know what, man? When they say cases like that, you know, people get outraged, but it's like he did overstay his visa. So if you know that you're dealing with an administration that is super strict on that type of stuff, you got to be on top of that type of business. That's that's like driving with a suspended license, knowing your license is suspended, or you know your passport's expired. Something that's up to you to fix.
Then when you get pulled over, you like, oh man,
yeah,
dude,
that's up to you to fix. I mean, it sucks, but you got to stay on top of your business.
There are rules.
Speaking of staying on top of the business of immigration, the man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador and became a flashpoint of President Trump's immigration policy is back in the United States to face criminal charges. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says Kilmar Abrego Garcia will be charged with human trafficking. Let's take a listen to her comments.
The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring. Thousands of illegal aliens were smuggled. This is especially disturbing because Abrego Garcia is also alleged with transporting minor children.
Yeah, so Abrego Garcia was sent to prison in El Salvador from Maryland on what the Trump administration originally said was an administrative error, but later said he was a member of the MS-13 gang. Now, Bondi said Abrego Garcia made over 100 human smuggling trips into the U.S. and will be returned to El Salvador once he's found guilty. Now, Abrego Garcia, of course, he was the rallying point for Democrats opposed to Trump's illegal immigration crackdown, saying he was deported without due process, and it does appear that now he's getting that so-called due process.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is how all weekend that's been like a C or D story, but there was a time it was an A story, but now that he's back going through due process, the conversation doesn't seem as loud. Why do we think that is? Is it because they hit him with the human trafficking charges, and so now everybody that was...
It's like they found something, so it's like, I don't know.
So is everybody taking a step back like, whoa, wait a minute now?
Well, not me. You know, I'm going to definitely keep you, like I said, I'm going to keep you posted, but I'm not sure why it doesn't... I mean, maybe the bigger story right now is the protest, you know, and addressing that. But the sad part about it is it's all relative, you know. It's like it's all related. It's all of these stories are connected in the topic of immigration. So. But we can switch gears on that and talk about this upcoming military parade that's happening here in Washington, D.C. So the Army is preparing for the largest military parade in Washington, D.C. that D.C. has seen in decades. In an event President Trump has been pushing since his first term in office. This will mark the Army's 250th birthday and also President Trump's birthday as well, and Flag Day. Let's take a listen to President Trump talk about this upcoming military parade on Saturday.
I am thrilled to invite everyone to an unforgettable celebration, one like you've never seen before. On Saturday, June 14th, which is Flag Day, we are honoring the 250th anniversary of the greatest fighting force in history, the United States Army. For 2.5 centuries, the men and women of America's Army have dominated our enemies and protected our freedom and home.
So the celebration is expected to bring 7 million pounds of hardware, and this week road reinforcement has been underway in D.C. to protect some of D.C.'s infrastructure during the event. We do expect that there will be some damage, which I believe, I'm not sure if it's the National Guard or someone agreed to pay for it. Nearly 7,000 soldiers are set to participate, and the parade will take place on June 14th with dozens of tanks, fighting vehicles, howitzers, and other artillery pieces. Just on a
wasteful spending. How much is that parade gonna cost? Now that's wasteful spending.
Millions and millions. But it's kind of a stark contrast from the fact that we just had Pride Weekend this past weekend, and now this upcoming weekend we can anticipate having this military parade in D.C. And if we got time for one more, I think we could have I want to provide you guys with an update regarding this Elon Musk and Trump beef. So apparently President Trump is threatening serious consequences if tech billionaire Elon Musk begins funding Democrats. So he made those comments in an interview with NBC News amid a public feud, of course, with Musk that took place over the last few weeks. Now, Trump said Musk will pay the price if he funds Democratic candidates to challenge Republicans who support the GOP's so-called big, beautiful bill. And the president did not specify what those consequences would be, but he did go on to say that he doesn't have any intention of speaking with Musk, and he assumes his relationship with the billionaire is officially over.
Back in February on my Brilliant Idiots podcast, I was saying how, Donald Trump and Elon Musk, it's inevitable for them to have this type of falling out. Mm-hmm. But there's something in there that I told people I would unbleep when it happens. I said what I think is going to happen, and then I bleeped it on purpose. Boy, are we getting closer to me unbleeping it.
Really?
You just wait.
Damn.
you
said
wait.
You called it the prophetess.
You'll see when I unbleep it. I see it coming.
All right. Oh, pause. All right. So that's your front page news. Follow me on socials at Morgan Media. And for more news coverage, you can follow the Black Information Network at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Thank y'all. Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.